What's up, everyone? Today Marvel Month rolls on with one of Marvel's best, and at this point, most loved characters, Black Widow. She's been a major part of the MCU for the past decade, and of course a prominent character in Marvel Comics for a lot longer than that. So to be honest, we were kinda shocked when we realized that we hadn't done an episode on her yet. I also want to remind you guys again that our big Marvel Month Avengers giveaway is still going, so be sure to sign up for that. The link for the complete details on how to enter is in the description, and it'll be going on all month long. Now let's get into the long overdue history of Black Widow. Black Widow was created by Stan Lee, Don Rico, and Don Heck, and she made her first appearance in Tales of Suspense issue 52 in April of 1964. Originally, she was a villain, but of course would eventually go on to join the Avengers, and she made her first appearance in the Avengers comic in Avengers issue 29 in May of 1966. Speaking of 1966, her original costume, as you could see in the issue, is similar to that of Catwoman's from the 66 Adam West Batman TV series, with obvious tweaks here and there. Coincidence? I think not. In any case, let's take a look at Black Widow's comic book origin. Natalia, or Natasha Romanova, or Romanoff, tomato tomato, was born in 1928, but there are several different accounts of Black Widow's early life, and it gets kinda confusing, so I'm gonna do the best I can to simplify them and give you guys an overview. The first backstory states that Natasha's mother gives custody of Natasha to a Russian soldier named Ivan Petrovich, who then raised her as his adopted daughter, eventually training her as a loyal Soviet spy who would help her homeland. Then in another account of her early life, Natasha's home was attacked by Nazis during the Battle of Stalingrad in 1928. In the attack, the building her family lived in was set on fire, and in an act of desperation, Natasha's mother gave baby Natasha to the same Russian soldier named Ivan. After her mother died in the fire, Ivan adopted and raised Natasha, but we also see that she was trained by the USSR's Black Widow Ops program. You see, apparently Ivan had taken her to Department X, where she was trained in combat and espionage at the Covert Red Room facility. While there, she was biologically and psychotechnologically enhanced. This in turn gave her an unusually long lifespan and a prolonged youthful appearance. Through all of this, she became one of their elite agents known as the Black Widow. We also learned that Black Widow had false memories implanted in her to help ensure her loyalty. So Natasha was given memories of becoming a ballerina. Having said that, it also explains why her origin and early years are a bit all over the place. In the end, the main pieces we need to know is that Natasha was trained at a very young age as a Russian spy for the KGB. She then became their best recruit and was given the name the Black Widow. And as an active KGB agent, one of her assignments was to infiltrate Stark Industries to assassinate Anton Vanko, which I'm going to get into right now with story arcs. In Black Widow's first appearance in Tales of Suspense issue 52, we see her assigned to infiltrate Stark Industries in order to assassinate Professor Anton Vanko. Vanko was a Soviet spy sent to sabotage Stark Industries, but was convinced to switch sides by a young Tony Stark. He's also the first Crimson Dynamo. Anyway, back to Black Widow. Her plans to kill Anton are intercepted and stopped by Iron Man. And with Stark being the handsome billionaire playboy that he is, Natasha found herself attracted to him. So she was like, you know what, I'm going to distract him so that my partner can destroy Stark's facilities. But while trying to carry out her scheme, her partner Boris is killed by Anton when he shoots Boris, causing his suit to explode. However, Anton died in the explosion as well. Natasha would then escape, but decided to stay in America and act as an undercover spy in order to regain the favor of the KGB. So she went to Tony Stark to pretend to apologize for her previous actions, hoping to seduce him and get close enough to steal his anti-gravity device. And in another case of booty blindness, Stark forgave her, a decision that she would quickly make him regret, because as soon as his guard was down, she used paralyzing gas on him and stole his anti-gravity machine. She then used it to cause all sorts of destruction. In the end, Iron Man was able to destroy the device with a proton electric charge so that she couldn't hurt or destroy anything or anyone else. But ultimately, he was unable to catch Black Widow. Shortly after this, she would also charm Hawkeye into being her pawn. However, the two would get into a battle with Iron Man where Black Widow suffered a severe head injury. She was saved by Hawkeye before she could be captured, and this led to her developing feelings for the Archer. But it didn't last long because she was later brainwashed by the Russians in order to return her to loyal servitude and was ordered to face off against the Avengers. Eventually, she shook off the effects of the brainwashing and made amends with the Avengers by switching sides and helping them fight. And after she proved herself a friend and a valuable asset, she officially joined the Avengers, becoming the 16th person inducted into the team. Although I will add, she was not a full-time member, because she didn't respect the Avengers' oath of not killing. Over the years, she worked on and off with the Avengers as well as S.H.I.E.L.D., being a freelance double agent operative against the KGB. For example, in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 86, she is seen leaving the Avengers while simultaneously breaking off her relationship with Hawkeye. This is also the issue where Black Widow finally gets her iconic black costume and wrist shooters that contain her Widow Bites. This would ultimately lead her to getting her own stories and book titled Amazing Adventures, The Inhumans, and The Black Widow, that premiered with issue 1 in 1970. As you would imagine, the title focused on stories of Black Widow's solo missions and really established her as a killer assassin being able to take down groups of men all by herself. The split book featured the character for 8 issues before being dropped. But fret not, right after her first solo outing ended, she was featured and co-starred with Daredevil in Daredevil issues 81 through 124. As I said earlier, Natasha broke off her complicated relationship with Hawkeye and left the Avengers, after which she became an all-new Black Widow, the one we know and love today. In any case, she became a vigilante fighting criminals in New York. Because of this, she would naturally encounter other heroes who fought crime in New York, like Spider-Man. But in this case, I'm referring to Daredevil. The pair quickly took a liking to one another, so they teamed up and went on to have a romantic relationship. In fact, Matt Murdock and Natasha's relationship was so serious that Matt broke up with his longtime and fan-favorite love interest, Karen Page. The new lovebirds then moved to San Francisco to start their new life and, of course, continue fighting crime. Marvel also tried to give Black Widow more of a normal life, giving her a personal career as a fashion designer, but that failed. Long story short, Daredevil and Black Widow would be a couple for quite some time. But ultimately, Natasha broke up with Matt because she felt that he wasn't treating her equally on the battlefield. The two would remain friends, however, and she continued to help him fight crime whenever he needed. After this, Black Widow rejoined the Avengers for a brief time, starting in Avengers issue 111. Before being added to the Champion superhero team series in the mid to late 1970s. The team and series consisted of Black Widow, Hercules, Ghost Rider, Iceman, and Angel. Throughout most of the 80s and 90s, she would be a recurring member of the Avengers as well as a freelance agent for S.H.I.E.L.D., which leads us to the 2000s, where Black Widow still plays a massive role in the Marvel Universe. Around this time is where she came into conflict with the second Black Widow, Yelena Belova, who was trained by the same spy masters as Natasha. Natasha would also find herself on the side of Iron Man during Civil War, just like in the MCU. Then in Secret Invasion, she would join the Mighty Avengers, which led to her being part of the massive Skrull battle in Central Park. Anyway, Black Widow would also be part of the Dark Reign storyline, secretly infiltrating Norman Osborn's Thunderbolts, fighting against him and his Dark Avengers. Speaking of Dark Avengers, I feel like we might need to do an episode on them. Yeah, that might have to happen. It is Marvel Month after all. But skipping some stuff here and there, we have the Secret Empire story, where Black Widow is killed by the fake Steve Rogers, aka the Hydra Steve Rogers, when he hits her in the face with his shield, breaking her neck. But don't worry, this is comics, and she came back with an explanation that deals with clones and memory implants. Comics. In any case, Natasha Romanoff is back and currently has a 5-issue limited series, with the final issue dropping later this month. The series deals with her coming back from the dead. But with all that said, friends, it's time for some powers and abilities. First off, Black Widow has taken a different version of the Super Soldier Serum. This gave her physical abilities much like Captain America, though not as great as his. She possesses peak level physiology, making her as strong, agile, fast, and durable as a female human can possibly be without being classified as a superhuman. This also extends to her senses and immune system, which are similarly heightened to peak human level. From a young age, Natasha was trained in the martial arts. She is an expert in karate, judo, kempo, jujitsu, ninjutsu, muay thai, and multiple styles of kung fu. She's also an expert sharpshooter, spy, and acrobat. Natasha has become one of the top espionage operatives in the world and has proven herself to be one of the best information gatherers in the entire Marvel Universe. She is also fluent in several different languages and is an expert computer program hacker. She's so good, in fact, she has been a leader of the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. on several different occasions. As for equipment, Black Widow wears a black skin-tight catsuit that's made of a special fabric that protects her from small firearms and high temperatures. She also carries an array of weapons, but her primary one is her famous Widow Bites that she shoots via her wrist cartridges. They emit an electric blast with an output of up to 30,000 volts. She has way more powers and abilities, but now it's time for some reading recommendations. Check out Tales of Suspense 52, Black Widow Volume 1, The Finely Woven Thread, Black Widow Volume 2, The Tightly Tangled Web, Black Widow, The Name of the Rose, Black Widow Homecoming, Black Widow, The Sting of the Widow, and her 2019 self-titled miniseries. That should be enough to get you all started. First up for May 1st, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 20.1. The Vulture is one of Spider-Man's oldest villains, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous. Here we have Batman issue 70. Now that Batman has escaped the nightmares, he's starting to see the forces rallying against him and that his father from another universe has joined the other side. Now we have Cosmic Ghost Rider destroys Marvel History issue 3. Cosmic Ghost Rider becomes an X-Men, whether Charles Xavier likes it or not, What could make Cosmic Ghost Rider even more powerful? How about slapping some Phoenix Force in there? Now we have DC's Year of the Villain Issue 1. Evil is winning. Lex Luthor and the Legion of Doom conspire with the Cosmic Gods, bending mankind toward a dark destiny. That's all I need to know. I'm in. Finally, we have Deceased Issue 1. A mysterious technovirus has been released on Earth, infecting 600 million people and turning them instantly into violent, monstrous engines of destruction. The heroes of the DC universe are caught completely unprepared for a pandemic of this magnitude and struggle to save their loved ones first. But what happens to the world's greatest heroes if the world ends? And that's going to bring another episode of Variant to a close, but remember, our Avengers 1 giveaway is still going on. You have until May 23rd to enter. You'll find the link for that in the description. Other than that, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, but I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.